Hey, everybody, welcome to Bearded Banker Banter. It's a sports podcast, and the 68 seeds are set. So, we'd like to take a moment and set the tone for this madness.
The ball is tipped. There you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all those years. No one knows just how hard you worked. But now it shows one shining moment you reach deep inside. One shining moment you knew you were alive. One shining moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful, Trey.
Thank you.
I was moved emotionally.
Yeah, that was about a 2-week rehearsal, maybe like 3, but
Don't admit to that.
that's right.
On the spot.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
That song just, man, almost can bring a tear to your eye just with what it means and the symbolism with it. It's so exciting.
Well, and let's be honest, when that plays, it means like college basketball is over. So it does bring a tear to your eye because you're like,
Yeah.
all right, what do I do now?
Especially when they play that recap video. Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, whoo, all right. It's been quite a whirlwind over the last couple of weeks here.
No, but I'm glad I was able to share my vocals with you guys and our audience. So
hey, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
I think they might appreciate it. They will.
Yeah,
they will.
Well, better.
That or we're gonna see viewership immediately go off.
Hey, what happened to all our listeners, guys?
First minute, everything drops down in terms of viewership watching. We're like, these guys.
Love it.
But now, hey, let's get into this because, like Trey said, the field is set. All right, so we got a couple things to get in here. Trent, I know you mentioned that talking about a couple of different storylines here. Is there one that particular that you want to actually tackle right off the bat here before we get into the madness?
Well, there's one super obvious one that I think when the field came out, matter of fact, the first region came out, I think a lot of us are going to agree with that region and talk about that a lot. But there's actually a different one that is going to get mentioned. I look at Carolina's region. And
what about Carolina's region?
I think the actual potential for the clash between RJ Davis and his now rival Caleb Love. There was a little story of a little bit of a love triangle, allegedly.
Some infidelity.
Allegedly.
I said allegedly. Okay, not the crime. No criminals here. Okay, but that there was a little conflict amongst that team, which led to Caleb Love being the one that was kind of pushed to the transfer portal. So it just kind of interests me that there is that potential for those two guys to kind of square off. I mean, here's the crazy thing. Once again, ACC Player of the Year and Pac-12 Player of the Year. So it's like it's just
and yet Carolina did not make the tournament last year with those guys both on the team.
Oh, I know. I mean,
it's because of the turmoil.
Yeah, that turmoil. Like I said, it's allegedly, all right. Although we're not talking about any sort of criminal act, but still, that little bit of controversy shows that hey, if a team is not tight, which I think that's the differences here with that Carolina team is they're a much tighter group. Although it's still all Roy's team and recruits, but yeah. So I just thought that storyline was kind of interesting, and I still don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to be able to meet. I think one of them will be out before there. I won't say who, but yeah. So that was one that kind of caught my attention. A little bit of a renewal of maybe a new rivalry on coast to coast.
Yeah,
I got a storyline for you, or not? Oh, just something I noticed, and it seems to be a storyline amongst a couple places. But that is the snubs of the Big East Conference, man. Whew. Oh man, I was like looking, listening, trying to figure out. Oh, did Villanova? No, they weren't picked yet. St. John's? No. Seton Hall? No. Who else? Providence? No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't. I mean, they all
3 teams.
3 total. Yep.
I think it was 3 from the Big East.
Yeah, 3 total. Yeah.
Is what made it.
But still, it's. I mean, the fact that they had 4 teams or like the first 8 out, like the first 4, next 4, is insane. I think everyone assumed Seton Hall was going to make it. I also think a lot of people thought Villanova or Providence was going to make it.
Yeah.
And to see all 4 of those teams not make it was kind of a surprise to me. So that's the storyline that I took away from the seedings and the brackets.
The only one, though, Trey, that was in the first 4 out was Seton Hall out of the Big East.
Correct.
But what about the next 4 out?
Yeah, I think Trey said first 8.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But either way, I don't know. That was just kind of surprising to me because I feel like the Big East gets, I don't want to say favored in terms of bracketology or anything, but the Villanovas, Rick Pitino as a coach, you would like to see him in the tournament. You like to see Villanova, who is a blue blood?
No.
New. Back to this
day.
Argument.
Another day. Another day.
But Seton Hall gave UConn one of their losses this year, and had a great net rating and everything. So like, I was surprised. That's the thing I took away.
Throw the net out. Throw the net out. The net obviously did not matter because it doesn't. And Tyler, it's one of your teams that really got screwed with the net.
I was going to say, transition wise, that team with the highest net to be left out of the tournament ever, Indiana State. We don't get the blessing of seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so a little disappointed in that.
Also,
I kind of had to think about that because I Kareem
Olajuwon. Yes. Tyler, is he done? Is he done for his career?
I don't have that answer.
Throw him a COVID year, flu year. Let's give him something.
I was gonna say, I guarantee he probably has like 3 more years of eligibility or something.
You gotta give it to him. I mean, I wish he did, but sorry to put you on the spot there, stat guys. But yeah, that caught my attention too.
He's only a
sophomore.
Highest.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
So we have a chance.
Well, guys,
we have like maybe 3 or 4 more years.
I don't know. You might declare for the draft.
No.
What'll happen is if he gets so much notoriety, he'll transfer though.
I don't know. Indiana State, I think he could win a couple championships there in terms of the conference, especially with DeVries finally leaving, I think, after his 17th year. So it's like, it'd be, why not stay? I think an Indiana State could pay him.
Yeah.
Pay him some NIL and keep him there.
Larry Bird will pay him specifically.
If he was smart, he would keep the school relevant.
And you know who else is missing out on that is if you're not somebody like Oakley paying him for sponsorship for goggles or something.
Ooh,
pay the man,
dude.
That's true.
Ooh, Ray-Ban shout out too, maybe.
There you go, Ray-Ban. Yeah,
whatever you got, man. Wasn't Rex Specs its own brand?
Probably.
That would be smart if they did that.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, I'll tell you what, I like had to resist the urge to like text you guys endless reactions as the brag was coming because I knew we'd have this episode, to talk about everything.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts here? I mean, toughest region. I mean, there was some very. I think does being the number 1 overall seed just mean you get the hardest pathway? Because I feel like they've done that.
I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree that UConn's is the hardest. I think it's absurd.
If you're going to sit there and say Carolina, you are full of it.
I am going to sit there and say Carolina's.
Oh my God. Hold on. Then I'm going to sit here and lay this out for you real quick. Okay. East region, which is UConn's region.
Mm-hmm.
Big East tournament champion.
I get
one
it.
seed.
I know.
Iowa State, Big 12 tournament champion, the 2 seed. Illinois, Big 10 champion, the 3 seed. And then the one that I thought surprised me the most was Auburn. Auburn winning the SEC tournament, but then being named the 4 seed. I mean, you got Kentucky in there over Auburn. I mean, I get regular season like winners and whatnot, but everybody that watches college basketball knows the true champion of the conference is the team that wins the tournament, their conference tournament. Regular season, okay, yeah, put it up there, put it on a little banner, but the conference tournament champion has more weight to it than just a regular season championship. At least from my ACC experience, that is what all teams in the ACC agree upon.
Oh man!
All right,
I don't know about that because NC State won the ACC tournament. Trent. I don't think that means as much as UNC literally winning the whole season's worth of games.
Trey, I'm not saying it doesn't give you more for seeding in the tournament. I'm just saying if you win, I mean, I think a much better feat was NC State winning 5 games in 5 days and knocking off on their pathway there Duke, Virginia, and Carolina. They were on a 4-game losing streak to close the regular season. You win 5 games in 5 days against the top 3 seeds. So that right there, to me, that's why, that's the hard-earned.
Does NC State beat Duke and UNC again if they play again?
No way.
No.
I mean,
so my thing is, Trent, did UNC and Duke beat UNC 2 times during the regular season each?
But Trey, isn't that what we love about March Madness? Is these aren't series of games? That's why tournament play means so much more. There's so much weight. You lose a regular season game. And it's kind of like, all right, yeah, that sucks. That's going to hurt our net ranking. All right. But you know what? We're still going to get the top seed in our bracket. Or with how many teams there are anymore, we're still going to get a triple bye and only have to win 2 games to win our conference. Like, you know what I mean?
So the trend that takes away from the conference tournament. Then is if UNC wins their conference tournament, well, they only played 2 games to win.
I think playing back to back,
but they won all 15 or 20 conference games.
The question was toughest region. I'm saying East. Tyler, you're saying where's Carolina? West.
Yeah,
West.
They are. Yep.
Okay, and Trey, where are you saying?
I have the West written down.
Man, you guys were together when the bracket was released, huh?
Wow.
No, but listen. All right, so I had an interesting conversation today. All right, and this kind of stems back to you guys talking about what has more weight to it. Is it the conference tournament? Is it the regular season champions? All right, so the conversation was around that, but it was also around the fact that you take this NIT tournament where teams are like, no, not playing in the NIT tournament, right? Which I get. All right. So, and this kind of goes into what we've talked about with college football. How do you make bowl games worth more,
I don't get it. I actually hate that teams are doing this. I think it's total bogus. It's crap. I don't stand for it. The only way that I could see is and granted, I'm kind of giving your team a little bit of a cop out here. I could see the elite programs. I could understand a Carolina, a Kansas, a Duke, a UConn. There's more to name, but like I could see those programs. I get that, but Pitt and Ole Miss, and St. John's, how relevant are they? What, they made the tournament like one time in like 8 years or 8 years or something like. So it's like those are the teams that should be playing in there.
Okay, so here you go. You ready? So NIT teams are like, no, I don't want to, don't want to. All right. So, and again, it goes back to you guys talking about what has more weight. All right. The conversation I had with some other people today was you have your regular season champion. All right. For whatever your conference is. All right. This is going to take away a lot of the committee power, right? And who has this ranking and who has this ranking. All right. Your regular season champion for your conference doesn't play in your conference tournament. Okay. Now you have a conference tournament with all the other teams. Each conference is guaranteed to get 2 people in there, 2 teams in there. Okay. You do away with the judgment. You say, okay, well, maybe them, and snub teams and all this stuff. All right. So now you got 2 teams per conference at least minimum. All right. Now tackle the issue of let's say the NIT. All right. I don't know about you guys. And I think, Trent, you had mentioned it too, is the play-in games is that if you win your conference tournament, you shouldn't be a play-in team, correct?
I agree with that.
You should have a spot in the 64. All right. But that's not necessarily the case. All right. So here you go. Here's how you fix your NIT tournament is now you take 16 teams. All right. You do a 16-team tournament where you go 16 to 8 to 4. All right. You eliminate these little play-in games, and those final 4 teams, all right, in that 16-team tournament are your play-in teams. You can still do it where you have, 8 10 seeds and 8 16 seeds, if that's how you want to do it. And then you still get 2 10 seeds and 2 16, whatever. But then what you're doing is now you're creating some sort of more competition, more tournament. It does away with all of the judgment stuff, the snubs and all that stuff. Indiana State gets a chance to get in. All right. If people want to argue with Pitt and Oklahoma and Seton Hall, they get a chance to get in. All right. Because now you're playing in the NIT. But guess what? The NIT tournament becomes a play-in game. All right. It becomes a play-in tournament. And guess what?
Charlie.
Oh, well, what about the timing? What about this? All right. Then bump March Madness back a week or so, or eliminate a couple of games. All right. From the early in the season, so that way your timing still works out.
So Tyler, I'd like that idea, to be honest with you, taking the final 4 of the play-in tournament and making them the last 4 teams, but instead of making them all the same seed, because I think that could be a little tough depending on how they're ranked in the NIT. What you do is you take the champ of that tournament is the 9 seed, the runner-up is the 10, third place is 11, fourth is 12. Like those last 4 seeds of those those seeds, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That way, nobody's gets because a 16. If you're playing, say, for instance, Seton Hall was in that play-in tournament and they were a Final Four team, and you get matched up with them as a 16, or that's.
Well, no. What I'm saying is you'd have a top bracket that is all 16 seeds, and a bottom bracket that is all 10 seeds or 11 seeds or whatever it is. I mean. Monitor however you want it to do it. But I'm just saying, I think there should be, if you want to bring some weight still to the NIT, make that your actual play-in game. You know what I'm saying? So
the NIT is becoming obsolete, almost like college football bowl games.
That was my comparison.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying, but I think it also goes back to why I say that the championship is the tournament, the conference tournament is, once again, you don't get an automatic bid for winning your league in the regular season. You get an automatic bid for winning your tournament. And there's always been more weight on the tournament. And that's why I say that. I mean, look at South Florida. They sit there and dominate their conference this year in the regular season. They lose in their tournament, and now they're sitting in the NIT right now. I'm glad they're playing.
But that's what I'm saying is award these teams, because now guess what? Your competition during the season now might be even a little bit stronger, because guess what? Hey, if we win our regular season, we're guaranteed in the tournament. It brings just as much weight. You get more intensity just like you do in the conference tournaments.
Okay.
Conference games do have a bigger weight then.
Right.
All things considered. Because you could go 500 in your conference during the regular season and be like, we still got the tournament, guys. Like,
I still think your solution to it. One, I don't have an issue with anything still. I don't have an issue with how the bracket is set up. I'm not, upset about who made it, who didn't make it. Because I think in the end, if you want to make the tournament, you got to take care of business.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. And that's what I love about this setup. Granted, are there some schools that, Big East is going to be upset, right? They're going to be upset. Okay. But once again, I mean, when you sit there and look at, they get 2 games against a DePaul team that was historically bad. So, I mean, to me, it's like, it's whatever. I mean, you want to talk about bottom of the barrel. Nobody in these other conferences, unless you're talking really small mid-major conference or not even a mid-major, were that bad in the major conference realm. Yep. And they were horrible. So anyway, I don't want to change anything still.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's the best playoff system of any sport.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, hockey's close. I'll say hockey's the toughest, like in terms of grinding out and persevering. Yeah. But how about we're looking at the bracket.
Real quick though, Trent. Our Facebook poll with toughest region, the people agreed with you. They said the East, all right, with the 44%. West came in second at 33%. So,
yep. Good job, public. Good job. But how about easiest?
So my easiest was the South, and I know you're going to be upset with that, Trent. But
no, I agree.
I have really trouble like looking at that and thinking that there's three teams. That's it that could possibly make the Final Four. Whereas I look at some of these other ones, and there's an 11 seed that can make it. There's a 6 seed that can make a run. But in the South region, it's one of 3 teams to me. I don't know. And it's not even one of the top seeds.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What do you think was the easiest?
I was shocked to see Iowa State do what they did to Houston in the championship. Like that was now, granted, Houston was a little banged up. I also think Houston was in one of those cases where they knew they had a 1 seed locked up no matter what, right? However, once again, I think your first year in the Big 12, they would have liked to get regular season and tournament championship to say, hey, it is now our conference. We're move over Kansas. We're here to stay. But I think the reason, and maybe I'll really eat my words here after saying this, but I just look at Marquette as a 2 seed, and I think if you do the last 10 games, healthy or not, I'm sorry, but you haven't accounted for the health and the injuries throughout the year, because there's teams that played injured in some crucial games, and performed well, but didn't get credited for that. That's a little bit of bias on my side because Duke has been. I think Duke played, less than 20% of their season with the full healthy roster, with guys that actually are in the rotation. They still are missing Caleb Foster. They beat Baylor, who got a 3 seed, at a neutral site without Tyrese Proctor. Yet Duke still got a 4 seed. Baylor got a 3 seed. So the region to me, I think I was actually, I think I even texted you guys. I was super relieved as a Duke fan that we weren't in the East. And then I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not saying Duke's going to get through, but I look at it and I'm like, I actually like this. I like this region. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will call it out right now. We could tweet them or whatever. But if Duke plays Wisconsin, come on, Barstool Big Cat. Let's make a wager, because I will. I hope Duke shits on the Badgers. Again. Yeah. I know it's not going to be for the national championship this time, but again, I want them, and I hope Duke pounds them. I really do. But that region to me, Trey, I'm with you. Easiest.
We can make that a trifecta. I agree with that as the easiest region. I do want to comment though on the Marquette thing, is I think that they may have given them a 2, understanding that Marquette's allowed to play with 6 guys on the court at the same time.
True. So bogus, man.
It's an advantage that they have over other teams. So that's I think the 2 out there.
I don't trust Shaka Smart. I don't trust him.
So Trent, to kind of you compared seeds in different brackets, and the one that I cannot wrap my head around is, we already mentioned the team that I think was underseeded. Auburn is a 4 seed and Marquette is a 2 seed. Absolutely. That is crazy to me. Auburn won the SEC, has a great amount of quality wins. Like you said, Trent, the last 10 games, Marquette has struggled. They're not necessarily fully healthy. Who knows if Kolek's going to play in the tournament or not? But to have them have a 2 seed difference between each other is that is something I cannot wrap my head around. The other thing I wanted to point out is you brought up the Wisconsin and stuff, but and Big Cat. How about the JMU Wisconsin matchup? Do you think? I almost think they did that on purpose because of Barstool, because PMT is a JMU grad and he's a huge James Madison fan. Big Cat is obviously a Wisconsin fan, so those two are gonna first round matchup gonna go head to head.
Yeah,
you should have seen the video when they were releasing the seedings. And they already released Wisconsin, and PFT standing up. He's like, "Please God, don't be JMU. I know I have a feeling it's gonna be JMU." And it was JMU, and he's like, "God damn it!" Like started screaming.
Well, Trey, isn't it interesting though? There's another Barstool personality matchup in that same region too.
In the same region?
Yeah, Will Compton, a Nebraska grad, has been going really hard at Texas A&M. I can't think of her name, but she works for Barstool, and because he went really hard at A&M.
Casey, is it Casey?
Maybe she went right back at Will Compton. So there's two Barstool matchups there that are interesting. Can we not say the most surprising thing about this region? Is that Michigan State is not in it with Duke? I mean.
Yeah.
This might be the first time in 4 or 5 years that they are not in the same region. So, Carolina, you got to deal with that.
The fact that they're even a team in there,
right?
As a 19 and 14, 19, dude, it's a record thing. They've them in Kansas have the longest streaks of tournament play,
and Gonzaga.
Yeah,
right. But I'm saying
But let's keep in mind, though, this is basically the exact same team and roster he had last year that made a run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they were preseason number 4. Duke beat him in the Classic, the championship Classic. And then, JMU got him first. Remember that. JMU got him first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
it wasn't Michigan State was ranked in top 10 to start, weren't they?
Fourth.
I just said 4th.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
4th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is. I mean,
they have a tough matchup though.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into the next topic: is which is the biggest surprise team that made the tournament in your guys' eyes?
Can I start?
Sure.
Not necessarily a surprise because they obviously got an automatic bid, but I would like to give a shout out to Duquesne Dukes as an alum, former football player at Duquesne. I would like to give a shout out to Duquesne making the dance for the first time since 1977.
Wow.
47 years. So
this calls for
come on.
I'm like,
confetti.
little
early.
Early confetti, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But I'm glad to see the Dukes are in there. I did see that their coach said after this season he was also retiring. So
Tyler, do you know
goal achieved? Get to the tournament.
Interesting fact about that coach, LeBron James, high school coach. Yeah,
yep, I read that yesterday. It's pretty nuts.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so that's my big surprise. I mean, I didn't see Duquesne getting to the tournament, especially when they started 0-5 in conference play in the middle of the season. So hey, figure it out, right? And I think their coach even said, he goes, those 5 losses in a row really kind of made us the team that we were to really make a run in this A10 tournament. So I thought that was kind of cool. But
I thought
shout out to the Dukes.
Talking about coaches,
right?
What?
It's a great day to be a Duke. It's one of our things.
Yeah.
So,
I don't like that.
All
That's
right.
stupid. Tyler, staying on the coach storyline, kind of tangent here. You actually broke this news to me because I had no idea, but Long Beach State mutually parted ways with their coach prior to their conference tournament, meaning they were going to separate ways, and then he ended up winning their tournament and going into the March Madness for him. So
they flat out fired him. They're like, you can finish the tournament, but you're fired. So
and holy crap, now you just won us a conference tournament.
Yep.
So I thought that's cool, and I hope. I mean, I don't know who they have. Probably another 15. So they got Arizona. I mean, that would be wild if they were to continue their run. But, crazier things have happened. St. Peter's made the Final Four, Elite Eight, one of those as a 15 seed in 2022. So it's not impossible, as we know.
Elite Elite Eight. Sorry, Elite Eight. Because yeah, I got you.
With Doug.
Yeah, who's now at Bryant, I believe.
Yep.
Slapping people in the face. I don't know. I'm looking at surprise seed. I mean, I just can't, or surprise team to make it. I'm sorry. Although I think they should be in based on my reputation. Virginia's a little bit of a surprise, mainly due to the fact that once again a team that just did not play well at the end of the year. I would honestly, guys, at this point, I think Pitt's a more dangerous team than Virginia in the tournament. I think their offense.
I agree with that 100%.
I get they pride themselves on their pack line defense. Trey, easy, don't get too excited.
Okay, don't mock it like that.
But you've got to be able to score.
It's a legitimate defense.
You've got to be able to score the ball, and if you can't score the ball, you can play great defense. But if you can't put points on the board to combat, I mean, it's just it is boring basketball to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, I may have them winning a game or two. Okay, but Virginia making it surprised me. Some of these teams, you might say they don't deserve to be in, but then there's some teams that if they get in, they could win a game or two. It's just how it is. It's player experience, it's coach experience. Knowing how to, even if you have a newer team, knowing how to manage the week leading into this tournament, that is super important. That's why I think a lot of those legendary coaches like a Roy Williams and Krzyzewski, and even I hate Bill Self. I think those guys are really good at managing their team's emotions to keep them level enough and focused enough to avoid the distractions. Somebody who can't do that, Calipari. But I don't know. It's just
wow. Do you think, and this, in terms of surprise teams,
look at his record right now.
I can name other coaches like Rick Barnes or Jamie Dixon.
Him too.
What are your thoughts on Texas getting in? I know we talked a little bit about Michigan State, but Texas was a team that I wrote way off. All right, sorry, fast breaks. I know you're a Texas guy, but I'll be honest with you. I did not see Texas getting in, and I was just waiting. Oh, careful, Trent. Careful.
Sorry.
I was waiting for them to put Oklahoma in. And performance in the Big 12 tournament with both those teams, I just didn't see it happening. But Texas surprised me to get in, especially at a 7.
Texas was Tyler, I agree. Texas was the one team I had jotted down, but a different team that I had that I thought was also just as big of a surprise was Northwestern.
Yeah,
getting a 9.
I love it.
Yeah, but getting a 9 seed without a playing game, a team that I thought was kind of off the bubble, not even on the bubble, to be frank. I know they got Boo Buie, who's a great player, and a couple other people, but just kind of surprising to see them get in over without a playing game over a team like Boise State, just Boise State, because I think the other teams are kind of a surprise too. But I would see Seton Hall maybe being a 9 without a playing game, a team like that. But I don't know. That was the one that when I saw them get announced, I was like, holy crap! That's a.
But Trey, don't you? I know you are all about this team, but then don't you sit there and look at who they're matched up with and say, how is that? Because FAU didn't win regular season. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't win conference tournament. Has some of the worst. They have multiple quad 4 losses, and they got an 8 seed. Are you just doing it because they made a run last year and they're exciting?
Exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah. It has to be it because I think they have their whole team back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they do.
Same team, same coach. So it's
Trent, I agree. That's a surprise to me, but not as big of a surprise because, like you said, FAU did have a big, strong out of conference schedule too. I know they don't. I don't know they have weight losses, good losses. You know what I mean? But they didn't just limit themselves strictly to their conference this whole season. They did play teams that were. I think they played Gonzaga. They played Arizona.
They beat Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's a very good win for a pretty small school. I don't know. I
8 seed.
Yeah. We'll see
Make
what they
it
do.
yes. Make it yes. I agree they should be in 8 seed. So maybe that's how the committee maybe evened out the idea with UConn is one, they're playing in Brooklyn, I think, to start, which UConn has a very big New York following. And then they go to Boston. Like, so when they like the second weekend is in Boston. So for UConn to get to play that close to home, maybe that's the way that they kind of overcame, planning the, putting all those heavy top 4 seeds up in that bracket. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Trey. I just like Boo Booey. They're like a team that pulls off subtle upsets that you're like, where did that come
They
from?
always beat
And
Purdue.
yeah, somehow,
Always.
even with Chris Collins probably getting ejected or whatnot after Purdue shot like 58 free throws and Northwestern shot 0. But
yeah.
All right, what do we got next? Is there
any
other topic before we start going through our and create our bearded?
Next thing was the biggest surprise team to miss, but we already kind of touched on that. For me, there were 2 teams, biggest surprise misses. One was Indiana State with the highest net rating of a team that's never made the tournament at 28, which is absurd. I really think that college basketball as a whole would have benefited from a small school with a very prominent star player. Draw attention to those games and kind of create a storyline. I'm surprised that they elected to not go that way. But the other one was Seton Hall, who I've mentioned a couple times. I think they have great wins against really good teams, some that are the top seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, etc. So I just don't understand the justification of putting a team like Colorado State in over them. Like I would love to hear the conversations and how many people agreed with that decision when they were coming up with these brackets. But
yeah,
I don't know. Those are the 2 that really stick out to me: Indiana State and Seton Hall.
Trey, I think somebody on this committee, once again, I think we mentioned this last episode. I think the committee is trying to sell everybody in the world on the Mountain West because that is becoming the new Western Conference, right? It's the only conference out West, right? So, I mean, I know there's going to be teams out there, but those teams are joining the Big Ten, which is primarily Eastern, right? East Coast. They're joining the SEC, the Big 12. Like they're all moving east. Heck, some of them Stanford and Cal are in the ACC next year. So it's like, so what I'm saying is like Mountain West, hey, let's give them 6 bids, 6 bids from the Mountain West. Now, granted, I think a couple of them have playing games.
I think 1, 2 of them do.
3. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, they get, but they're still in. So 6 bids, but I don't know.
I did say they're going to take over the Pac-12, did I not?
Yeah, because there was talk of a merge too with the teams when there were still more teams remaining.
In football, the Pac-2 are going to play most of their conference games against the Mountain West.
Yeah, who is it remaining?
It's Oregon State and
Washington State.
Yes.
Washington State. Okay, that makes sense.
I have one quick topic, and then we can actually get into tournament picks here. Most dangerous double-digit seed. Double digits, so 10 or higher. And I mean, this can take into account not just one, but like looking at who they could match up against, kind of moving forward. You guys want me to start?
Yeah, I mean, I have a super obvious one, but you can go ahead first.
I'm going New Mexico as an 11 seed. They got matched up against I know, dude. I've been last couple of weeks. Matched up against Clemson to start as an 11-6 matchup. And then they can possibly just stop.
Tyler, who they matched up against? Trey, who did he say?
Yeah,
Trey, who did he say they're matched up against again?
I know. As a 6 seed.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
That beer's going to taste so good.
That's a beer bet victory.
I'll be expecting that on The 22nd at 3:10 p.m. is what I'm going to
Okay,
crack that
so
beer that you give me.
then make sure you bring the 2 that you owe me, and Trent, you can bring those 2 that you owe me.
What's it? How about you? How about you give me the other 6 first?
I'll give you your other 6. That's fine.
We do got to get next episode. We got to get a legitimate count.
Yeah.
That way we can keep everyone up to date. But
go ahead.
So New Mexico against Clemson, and then they would move into the next round against Baylor or Colgate. And
Baylor.
I don't know. There for a while, I was sold on Baylor. I don't know. I'm kind of not as sold on them, especially the way that Colgate can play. So I'm not saying Colgate's going to necessarily beat Baylor, but I think New Mexico has a pretty favorable, couple of games that they could get out to, because then, if they do somehow get past, say, a Baylor or Colgate too, then you're looking at Arizona, Long Beach State, Nevada, or Dayton. So
yeah,
I think, I think they're my most dangerous double-digit seed.
I got 2. Go ahead,
okay.
Trent. You want me to go?
Well, no, go ahead, Trey. You're probably going to take mine.
I know, and that's why. Okay, well then you go. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
All right.
Trey did say his 2.
I do have 2. The first one might be overlooked, but I think that they're really good, and they had a really good start to their season. They never really took like a downturn. They just had a couple bad losses that hurt them, and that's Nevada as a 10 seed. I think they could be pretty dangerous. I think they're very underseeded. I think they should be actually an 8 or a 9 in that range.
Love Steve Alford. Love Steve Alford.
Yeah, I think he's a great coach too. He's the old UCLA coach
for a little bit. Yeah, he didn't do well there, but
yeah.
Indiana legend.
Yeah. The other team, and Trent, this is probably the one that I'm going to steal from you. I think it depends on the health of the team they're playing, though. And that's Samford, the 13 seed. Because I think if they beat Kansas, I think they could very well win their next game is 2, no matter who they play, whether it's McNeese or Gonzaga. So Samford, I think they got a great core player in Achor, which is a stupid name, but he's great.
I love it.
I think it's
great. It's a great name.
Now, so they just named him after his last name.
Don't hate on heritages. Just
I don't understand. Like, how do you have 2 of the same name?
Then look it up.
Yeah,
you don't. But you don't sit there and say Samford. You say that you trust Samford more than McNeese.
Hey, I didn't get to go yet,
I do.
guys.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I do is because I think McNeese State played in a very weak conference. I'm surprised they're a 12 seed. I thought they would.
They should be higher.
No, I think honestly, Samford and McNeese should switch seeds. That would make more sense to me. But one thing I want to point out is, I think we mentioned it last year, and I know we mentioned it last episode, but the 12-5s, I think they're trappy. I really do. I think James Madison in Wisconsin, trap game. Absolutely trap game.
Hey, easy.
All right, I'll let you give your.
Let's try and get this.
Go ahead, double digit. Go ahead, Trent.
Well, what I was gonna say is I'm tentative here because I have one that it was mentioned here between the two of you that I'm going back and forth on. If I do make my pick, I would technically have it. I would have 7 double-digit seeds winning in the first round.
Whew.
Yeah. So that sounds a little scary, but it's 7 out of 32 games, right? 32. So, but yeah. So
the
one that I think is kind of a gimme is, I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. It just jinxed the hell out of him. Yeah. I just think Drake's a 10 seed.
He did just jinx the hell out of it, man.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Say what you want, but Drake is a 10 seed, and they're favored. They're favored to win. So I feel kind of guilty. I feel gross saying that, but yeah, they are. I would say that's my double-digit seed that I could see winning a game and push for a second, but it'd be very tough. So
interesting.
But yeah, I'm right now. I'm currently sitting at 6 double-digit seeds going through the first day. Sorry, first 2 days. I just I'm really torn. You want to know what I'm torn on? Like I've literally changed this pick multiple times. Can I tell you, or do
It's
you
a
want me to wait?
double-digit seed. It's a double-digit seed. I know.
Yeah.
NC State and Texas Tech.
Oh no, I haven't gone back and forth on that. No, it's Trey. It's Samford, and Kansas. I am, because of the unknown of the unknown of, did Bill Self just let McCullough just rest and rehab? Did he let Dickinson just rest and rehab and say, hey guys, let's go out, let's just treat this like a scrimmage, we're going to the tournament, we're going to be a top 4 seed, let's get ready to go in the big time. So like, once again, I give Kansas, maybe I'm giving Bill Self too much credit, it is one of his worst teams that he's had in terms of depth, right, Trey?
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew it. Once you said worst teams, I was like, oh, here we go.
But yeah, anyway, that's where I'm like torn. So but yeah, let's can we get this rolling? Can we get our consensus pick? So I'll kind of explain quick before we get into this. So what we have done is we've all filled out our own bracket individually. Matter of fact, like, this is the first time we're legitimately talking about our brackets and picks and reactions and everything together. So what's going to happen is we're going to go matchup by matchup through the first round, second round, third round, all the way to the end. And we will go based on a consensus. Now, if, for instance, say I got overruled on one where they picked a game and there's a team or 2 teams involved in a matchup that I didn't have, then we have to kind of make that pick on the go right then and there. So it's a majority rules. So 2 votes for the team goes forward, and then we pretty much construct a bearded Baker banter bracket.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that is. So let's get rolling and let's get this thing filled out.
Are we allowed to attempt to change the mind of people?
Whoa, do you remember this? What was it? Each round you got 2 you were able to try to persuade, right?
Yeah.
Is it 2?
And Trey was 3. So bad.
That was not bad. I think I've actually persuaded one of you. So
I don't think he's persuaded anything.
3. We get 3
total.
Okay.
All right. Deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
3
challenges.
3. Yes. Challenge it. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
So Tyler, start us off first matchup.
UConn. Hey, we're going all first round, right? And then we're going to go to round of 32, round of 16, right?
Yep.
All right, here we go. All right, so first we're going to start in the East Division here. We got the UConn and Stetson matchup.
Got the UConn.
Yeah. Moving on.
UConn. All right. Next we got FAU and Northwestern.
Bingo. FAU.
Ooh. Look, I could tell Tyler's leg was shaking. He got a little worked up.
Tyler, would you like to use a challenge already?
Yeah.
Not in the 8-9 matchup.
I know.
No, I'm good with that. I'm not.
Isn't that a good one to use a challenge on?
Yeah, but I'm not. But I'm not like a Northwestern guy. I picked them because I think they're gonna win. But I'm not like gonna sit here and be like, oh, they need to be though. No. All right. San Diego State UAB.
I got the Aztecs.
I do too. I hate it. One of the biggest overseeds I've seen.
Meaning,
I agree with that. San Diego State's overrated.
Yeah, they should.
So I think UAB is too.
I think UAB is going to cover.
All right, we'll get into that then.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there. Come on now.
I know. All right, next we got Auburn and Yale.
Auburn.
Yeah,
I'm on Auburn.
Sadly, these Yale Bulldogs, right?
Yep.
All right, now we got pack up, and go accept a 6-figure job right out of college.
I was gonna say go start a startup company, biotech,
run the country. Who knows?
Yeah, come a world-class lawyer or something.
Yeah.
Bottom of the East here, we got a 6-11 matchup. We got BYU and Duquesne. I'm on the Dukes because they're hot, and kind of when Trey, you picked them the other day, I totally am in agreement with Duquesne's a pretty hot team right now. And I think the coach announcing his retirement, I don't care how biased I am. The coach announcing his retirement, I think, is kind of a motivator for those guys to at least go out and get a tournament win for them.
All right. I am the old saying is live by the 3, die by the 3. And BYU is living by the 3 early on. They chuck it up. They have no shame. They're going to shoot. And I'm going with the Cougars of BYU. They're going to be raining so many threes. Ready for this, guys? They're going to be soaked.
Oh, ew.
Anyway.
That's messed up.
Move on.
Urban Dictionary, guys. Check it out. Soaking.
Don't.
You
could have moved on.
It's okay. It's all right. This is one of the ones that I actually had a lot of trouble with picking this game because, Tyler, like you said, Duquesne's been so hot, and like the storyline with their coach and first time since 1977 that you pointed out. I originally had Duquesne picked, but looking at BYU, I think that they're solid. I think Duquesne was riding the conference tournament heater that a lot of teams do, and then they get cold in the little break. So I'm going to go with the Cougars, BYU.
Recency bias.
Can I put a challenge out there?
Oh, challenge flag. All
challenge here, Trey. Because I'm not going to convince Trent, so I'm going to go after you, Trey. But Duquesne does have a very strong defense. Trent also just pointed out, live by the 3, die by the 3. I think if that is your mentality, I think Duquesne beats you.
That is true. Living and dying by the 3 is dangerous, but it can also be dangerous for.
Sure.
It can be dangerous either way. You could lose very big, but you could blow some teams out that you had no business beating.
Sure. 11-6.
They're only 11 because the committee was lazy. They had VCU in there as an 11.
So did I. And to be honest, I think VCU was the better team, but Duquesne was just hotter at the time. I'm going to have to stay with BYU, Tyler, but I appreciate your effort.
All right. It is still going to be it's 12:40 game on a Thursday, so it could still be hot.
Not hot enough, though.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even going to consider it because you said you weren't even going to try. So I might have.
You're a St. Francis guy. You just are going to hate on Duquesne anyway. So
come on, Ty. Come on. My brother went there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next matchup we got here is Illinois Morehead State.
The Illini.
Everyone's favorite 14th seed.
This is going to be a sweaty one, but Illinois is going to win.
You think it'll be close?
Yeah.
You think Morehead covers?
Am I allowed to say it? Last time I said something, you guys were like, yeah, easy.
Yeah,
it's like AB said. I support that team's mission.
What do you have a spread number on that?
11.5 is what I have.
Covers. I already have it placed actually. So
okay, yeah, I could see him covering that for sure.
Morehead State's very slow pace. Slow pace of play can sometimes help you cover, in my opinion. But
very true. It is.
They do move the ball around.
Yes.
All right. Washington State and
Drake.
Whoa. What do you say?
They swallow you up on defense.
I said Washington State and Drake.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to go with the team that I've been riding for a while. And that's the Drake Bulldogs, baby.
Trey has been riding them for a while. Drake.
All right. Well, I'm outnumbered. I was Washington State, but I'm not going to challenge with this one.
Ty, I went back and forth with that because once again, I think the old recency bias for Drake is like, it's so obvious that we want to pick them to win. I think it was last year I bet Miami against Drake and Trey. That was Trey's first initial big beer bet loss. He lost a 6-pack to me with Miami beating Drake, and Drake was up all game.
I do remember that.
Rehashing that.
Sorry, I don't forget. I'm like what is an elephant?
Yeah.
I could say why. I could say why. But it's because I have such a good memory.
Iowa State, South Dakota State.
Iowa State for me.
Iowa State. Okay.
Moving
down to the West here. We got North Carolina versus the playing game of Howard or Wagner.
Doesn't matter who wins. Yeah, I was gonna say I got the Tar Heels as well.
Me as well.
Do either of you guys have a 16 upsetting a 1?
Not in the first week.
Save it.
Well, no, I was gonna say we could just skip over that then.
No, we moved quick. Let's go 8-9 matchup. We'll just move through.
All right, Mississippi State, Michigan State.
I'm a big Mississippi State guy. I don't think Michigan State even belongs in the tournament. So I'm going Mississippi State.
I'm on Mississippi State.
I'm outnumbered here. I have Michigan State once again, a team that has played in the tournament. A coach that I also think Tom Izzo gets a little bit too much credit because I think his team this year especially underperformed. They're lucky to be in it. Maybe it is because of the streak, but I'm on Michigan State, but I will not challenge this because this is a tough one for me. I think Mississippi State I think his name's Hubbard, small guard that actually is going to pose a pretty big threat to RJ Davis the next round.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to play Mississippi State. And I think that Mississippi State right now is a 1.5 dog on FanDuel. So it's not a bad one to actually take money line for plus money. So
I think it's going to bounce, but I think it's going to bounce the other way. Tom Izzo is getting those points favored right there, single-handedly.
Yeah. All right, St. Mary's, Grand Canyon, the Antelopes of Grand Canyon.
The Lopes, baby.
I usually pick against St. Mary's every year in the first round, and they always piss me off and win. I'm on St. Mary's. They're better conference. You beat Gonzaga twice this year, I believe. So I'm on St. Mary's to win this. I think Grand Canyon's just the recency bias team there.
I'm on St. Mary's. I don't agree with recency bias, but I think St. Mary's will just be a little bit too overwhelming for Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw a challenge flag out.
Yeah.
Please. I'm a big, like I said, I advocated that the 12-5s are trappy as they are because they've been such a popular, trendy bet prior to the last 2 years. You can talk about conferences and strength of conferences. Yeah, it's the
WAC.
The WAC and the West Coast Conference, the WCC. Really, really not much difference between the two. St. Mary's, if anything, I would say they play better competition. But looking at quality wins, who else has St. Mary's beat besides Gonzaga? No one.
Tell me.
They beat San Francisco. They beat San Francisco twice. They lost to Xavier. They also did lose to Gonzaga once. Grand Canyon beat San Diego State by almost 6 points total. Their only bad loss, and I think they have 3, is to South Carolina, an SEC school, and they only lost by 7 points. They beat Louisiana Tech, the number 1 seed in their conference tournament that should have ended up winning the tournament. They also beat Liberty, who's a great team.
I'll stop you there, Trey. We're going with the Lopes.
Yeah. That's right. The Lopes, baby.
You know, I went back and forth with them, and I really like Grand Canyon. I'm not sold on St. Mary's. St. Mary's was like watching some paint dry.
Yeah.
I'm going Antelopes, man.
Slow pace of play.
So Trent, what happens if you have these slow possessions that eat up the shot clock? Grand Canyon runs down, scores an easy 3 in 2 seconds. You come back, you slow it down, get another stop. You can run away with the game as a team.
Trey, there's a lot of what ifs.
I know. But I'm saying that slow play can also hurt you when you need to score points.
We're moving on. You guys chose Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon can score points.
I'm not upset about it. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see that happening.
You sound like a Gale. St. Mary's Gale, that's their mascot.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go.
Gale.
Alabama, Charleston.
Bama.
I'm on Bama. I'm not sold on Bama. I think Charleston could give them a run, but I think push comes to shove, it's going to be Alabama.
I agree. I'm on Bama too.
All right, Clemson, New Mexico. Oh, we're going to disagree on this one.
I'm on Clemson.
Tyler?
I'm on the Lobos. And I will say this, I have the Lobos going pretty far.
Ooh, wow. I'm also on the Lobos.
Yeah.
Reason being, I think all things considered, I mean, this is talk about a Mountain West ACC thing, right?
You don't have to convince us. We're moving on. I'm not challenging.
I just think Clemson was much better at the beginning of the season. I think they kind of fiddled out. If it was
fizzled
or fizzled,
yeah, fiddled.
No, but what I was going to say is I think if you put 5 more games in the regular season, Clemson might not make the tournament. Kind of like a Wake Forest, but they did. They were good enough to start the year, but I think New Mexico takes that game.
Yeah, an 11 seed that's favored, I believe, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I believe when an 11 seed is favored over a 6 seed, they are 9-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about 4 times they've actually won by 16 or more points, the 11 seed. I'm going with Clemson. I just think once again, I think people are. I just think people are. It's recency bias to me.
Yeah,
I believe it. I believe in it. I think this is one of the biggest times a year where that catches up to you. It's kind of like Trey, what you said is teams ride a wave to get them through their conference tournament. You go a couple days off and you can fiddle out, and you could get caught in the first round. So,
but you also, you're also, and Trey, you're also a person though that just sat here and told us that you have a ton of double-digit seeds, which is literally the definition of recency bias.
Oh no, I don't do it based on what they just did in their conference tournament. I do it based on their year. I
honestly think that, and this is a whole different story, but I honestly think that what we're going to see is that there's been so many upsets already and so much weird stuff going on in these tournaments that I think that the favorite teams are going to kind of just storm through the tournament and be like, oh, yeah, NC State. No, sorry. Oh, this team. And that's just my thought. And that's just because of how things have gone. I think that people are going to be, oh my gosh, yeah, we're totally taking this. There's going to be so many upsets. And I think we might be a little bit saddened by that.
I think
Tyler's projecting chalk, but let's stay on track.
Well, no, what I was going to say is I think there's a fine line between recency bias and trends, right? You got to differentiate between, is a team truly trending badly, or is it just, it's just 2 games good. Like it's just these last 2 games. But, and New Mexico hasn't really been Clemson's been on the downward trend, I think, for a while. And I think New Mexico has kind of stayed steady. That's my opinion, but we'll go to the next game.
All right. Here we go. Baylor, Colgate.
Baylor.
All right. Dayton, Nevada.
Wolfpack, Nevada.
Yep.
I'm also on that. Yep. Arizona, Long Beach State.
Arizona.
Okay. Moving into the South region here. The 116, we start off with Houston and Longwood.
Trey, compose yourself.
Houston.
Oh, okay. Whoa, surprise.
Yeah,
Trey, you want to challenge yourself there?
No.
Okay. Houston.
I'm on Houston too. Nebraska and A&M.
I'm on the Aggies, baby.
Aggies as well.
I'm also on the Aggies. Shout out to Buzz Williams eating at Applebee's. I bring that back. Sorry,
not shout out. Shame on him.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
for not letting me get a picture.
He didn't even
own
embrace
up to
who he
himself.
was. Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Eating good in the neighborhood, right?
Clown.
That's Applebee's motto, huh?
I think it is.
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Wisconsin, James Madison.
I talked about this. I'm going Wisconsin.
Wisconsin as well.
I'm in Wisconsin as well.
Yeah. We all avoided that trap, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be the trap. Yeah, I know.
It always works like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Duke versus the Vermont Catamounts.
Ooh. So I'm saying ooh because that's a bad draw. I think Duke
it is a bad draw, but Duke will handle business.
I agree. I picked Duke, but Vermont is no joke. They have experience in the tournament. They're a fundamentally sound team that's well coached. They didn't underperform in their tournament like most one seeds did. I just think, like I said, Duke's going to win that game. I think based off sheer talent alone, but that's not. I mean, 12 and a half point spread. I would put some money on Vermont.
Give me 11 flat, and I'll beer bet you.
Ooh.
No, I won't. I won't do it. I won't do that. Never mind. I don't want to do it.
I should have taken it quick.
Nope.
Dude, you should have.
Oh man.
Oh man. He retreated back. Meow.
Meow.
What? Meow.
Okay.
Sure, when'd you get a cat?
So you want 11?
Give me 11 and a half.
No.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Stupid, Trent.
No.
You got 2 cats now.
Why do you always ask for less than the spread? That's not. That's
always.
I'm going.
Always.
Duke moving on.
Yeah, that's stupid. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Texas Tech, NC State.
Don't turn your back on the Wolf Pack.
No way.
No,
I'm talking about recency bias, Trent. We want to talk about recency bias.
Give me that recency bias right now. Give it to me.
You want a +5?
I already bet him +5.
I bet Texas Tech -5. So do you want to take a beer bet on that?
Not yet. I'll think about it.
I have Texas Tech.
Hmm.
Any challenge, Trent?
I can't lie here. Like I sit there and point out recency bias, but I'm also guilty of falling for recency bias. Like I just think I do believe that NC State. So yeah, screw it. I'll friggin' challenge it. I think NC State found their niche. I think they found a way that they are a 2-man team. It plays inside through Burns and outside through Horn.
The DJs.
Yeah, it is DJ. So watch yourself. I just once again, it's like there is no person that can guard this man one-on-one with the touch that he has. And what people underestimate about him is his ability to pass out of a double team, which is why teams stop doing it. So when you have guys like Morelli, I think Marcellus, or the transfer from Virginia that played really, really well, wore number 14 for NC State. You got number 12 for NC State. You got Horn for NC State. And then you got Diarra. Name always looks like diarrhea to me. But Diarra, who is rebounding and slashing. I mean, they looked like a team where you're sitting there watching them say, how the heck were they on a 4-game losing streak leading into the tournament? Well, I'll tell you how. They played at Pitt. They played at Carolina. They played against Duke at home. That's a gauntlet of 3 games in a row in the ACC. And yes, gauntlet, because the ACC is underestimated. So once again, I am going to ride the recency bias because I believe big man Burns is the personality of this tournament, with us missing out on Kareem Olajuwon, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Funniest quotes from the ACC tournament was after their big win. I think it was against Duke, when he was like, yeah, in his post game interview, yeah, we got 2 more. We got 2 more, baby. And they had 3 more games to play yet. And the coach got asked about it. I was like, yeah, he'll figure it out. I was like, yeah, just let him go.
Yeah. Let him enjoy the moment. Yeah, I'm on NC State. I love when ACC gets an opportunity to go up against the Big 12. Give it to me.
So Trent, I'm gonna challenge your recency, but I hear you out. I really do.
Well, you can't challenge. If you just disagree, we're moving on.
Well, yeah, but what I want to say is I'm gonna one up your recency. Well, no, I know, but I'm gonna one up your recency bias with. Now you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry,
recency bias with. Forget it, Tyler. Come back to me. But no, I'm still going. Texas Tech.
I mean, Jen, if I had Texas Tech winning 1 game, then I'd probably change my mind. But I got Texas Tech going pretty far, so I'm sticking with the Red Raiders.
I'll tell you what, Trey. Give me the Wolfpack +5.
Beer bet.
That's first one.
Tyler,
first one of the bracket.
Mark it down.
Put it on my tab.
Okay. All right. Next week,
freaking curse you out on Friday or whenever the hell they play.
Is it
Friday? Thursday. Damn it, we're not going to get to watch it together.
9:40. We can watch it together. It's 9:40 p.m.
That's a Thursday night. Yeah.
All right. Next, we got Kentucky and Oakland.
It kills me to say, but I got Kentucky.
Me as well.
I love Oakland, man.
Dude, Oakland's my team. I want to pick them so bad, but I'm not picking them.
You picking them to cover?
And I'll tell you what. Looking at the numbers, is it 13.5? I didn't think it was that heavy. I thought I saw like 6.5. Oh no, it is 13.5. Yeah. Oh, totally taking 13.5.
Yeah.
Easily. And it'll probably go to 14. So if you want to wait maybe a little bit, but yeah. I will take that. But now I'm going Kentucky. Yeah. All right. Florida and then Boise State or Colorado.
If Florida can overcome, I think that fluke of a championship game, I think they saw one of their boys go through an absolutely disgusting injury. And at that moment, that was brutal. But now now it's motivation. He's going to be in his cast. He's going to be behind the bench or with them. And I think it's going to lift Florida through this round, even though it's going to be tough because I like Boise, and I think Colorado has a little bit of a chance. I think both those teams have a chance at maybe making a little run. But I'm going Florida to make the run.
I'm going Boise or Colorado. I like either one kind of beating Florida. I think they both have a chance. Granted, I do think it's going to be Boise over Colorado, but still, I'm going to go with the 10 seed in this.
I'm going Florida. I think again, the injury sucks, but if they didn't have that injury, I think I would have had Florida going a little bit deeper than they are. But I'm at least getting them past this first game. So I'm going Florida. Okay. Marquette, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
Marquette.
But I'll tell you what, man. I love Western Kentucky. I love their mascot. This is a big giant red thing.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's awesome. I love it.
Questionable in the stands too.
I know. All right, moving into the Midwest here, we got Purdue versus Grambling or Montana State.
Purdue.
Okay.
Whoa, Tyler. Whoa, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
No, just wait. First weekend. Okay. Next, we got Utah State, TCU.
Utah State.
I'm also taking Utah State.
I am as well. Next, we got Gonzaga, McNeese.
Make
it 2 McNeese.
Make that 3 McNeese.
Whoa! Wow.
That makes me McHappy.
Okay. Well,
I didn't know where that was going.
Either did I. Yeah.
All right.
Relax.
Next one we got Kansas and Samford.
I got Samford.
Isn't it weird?
I have Kansas.
I'm going Kansas. I have a feeling that Kansas is going to say, "Oh, you can talk about this, and we're going to lose this." I think Kansas is going to make a little bit of a statement, unfortunately, because I can't stand them.
Yeah, but this is the one where if I picked Samford, I'm 100% picking with my heart.
Yeah. Yep. I'd save you your challenge, Trey. You're not going to change my mind.
I know.
Yeah, you ain't gonna change my mind. I mean, I would probably be the one to potentially change, but I almost did as you were giving me your double-digit seed favorite. But
South Carolina and Oregon.
Oregon.
I want Oregon as well.
Did you guys just see that?
You got heart emojis.
What the heck?
It's probably because it looked like you made a heart with your hands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Just for the record, I was going to go South Carolina.
This is weird.
Can
we just clarify? We don't know why I'm the only one that does this too. So anyway,
I just surprises me you guys both went with Oregon.
Yeah,
I think South Carolina. They were picked last in the regular season, to finish last. I think they overachieved, and I think they're finally starting to come back to reality. And I also think that Oregon's pretty hot right now, playing well.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think they're coming back to reality, but it doesn't mean they're still not a good team. Their defense is incredible. Their energy is great. Michi Johnson, is that his name?
Great energy.
Yeah, Michi Johnson. Great guy. Great player. Energy. Love him, but I'm not going to challenge it. I'm just going to accept your guys' pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Creighton, Akron.
Creighton.
Texas, Virginia, or Colorado State?
Virginia or Colorado State.
I'm actually going Texas.
I'm on UVA or Colorado State as well. I think it'll be Colorado State. Any challenge? Are we good?
No, I'm gonna let it go.
I think we've all used one. We have two left.
Yeah. Tennessee, St. Peter's.
The Volunteers.
Me too. Tennessee.
Yep.
You want to start there, or you want to go back to the top?
Let's go back to the top.
Yeah, we'll start back at the top. That way we start back in the East.
Okay.
All right. First matchup here, we got UConn versus FAU.
So we're into the second round now.
Yep, second round. Round 32. I got UConn.
I'm also on UConn.
Yep, UConn. Auburn, San Diego State.
Auburn.
Yep. BYU, Illinois.
BYU.
Ooh, see, I'm on Fighting Illini. I think Shannon Jr. is too tough. I think he's going to dominate that game.
Trent, who'd you say, Trent?
BYU.
All right, I'm on Illinois. I agree, Trey. I think Illinois is going to dominate.
Yeah.
Living by the three, boys.
Yeah, but they're going to die by the three.
Three's better than two. They ain't dying yet, Trey. They ain't dying yet.
See, Trey, we got the Dukes there. But
yeah, I know.
It's too bad. It's so sad.
All right. Drake, Iowa State.
Iowa State.
I got Drake.
I'm on Iowa State. That dude,
that's my challenge noise because I'm challenging you fellas.
Trey, keep it short because you're not convincing me of anything here.
Okay, well, like I said,
me neither, bud.
I haven't liked Iowa State all year. Can you guys name me one significantly good player from Iowa State?
It's the coaching. That's really the biggest thing is their coaching, though.
Gibby.
It's Lipsy.
That's it.
No,
That's it.
yeah, but
and
he averages 12
Gipsy
points
or
a game.
Gipsy. Yeah.
Whereas Tucker DeVries and his dad have been running the Ohio Valley Conference for, like we said, years. He's averaging 22 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. In addition to Atten Wright, who is averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I think that Drake plays like a team. I think they run a solid set offense rather than relying on their speed and their like chaos that they create. And I don't think Drake is going to turn in. I don't think they're going to turn in this turnover fast-paced game. I think they're going to beat the ball down. I think they're going to take advantage of Iowa State and their inability to play slow. And I think the Drake Bulldogs take it from them. And I think that's the first big upset, like big upset in March Madness.
Hey Trey, if we get this matchup, I'll bet you, since you have them winning, outright. I'll bet you a beer.
That's not how it works.
Why? I'm offering.
So why don't you bet me Texas Tech outright then?
Because I wanted the NC State one. I like that one. Yeah. So I already bet you NC State is a dog. Why don't you go money line with me?
But you got I'll bet you money line. Then give me the points, and I'll take Drake with points.
There's no matchup yet. There's no matchup.
But when there is,
no, you just picked them to win. So anyway, I'm just going.
And you picked NC State to win.
I know, and I took them +5. You promised me points. I didn't promise you points.
See, the double standard you create with your beer bets is stupid, Trent. That's stupid.
And it has me on the surplus.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Iowa State, Trey.
As am I.
All right, fine.
Next up,
North Carolina, Mississippi State.
I got that.
So I for the longest time I did have Mississippi State, and then I thought I was getting a little too upset happy, so I'm going with North Carolina.
Yeah, I got North Carolina.
I think they'll make a little bit of a run. All right, next we have Grand Canyon and Alabama.
I think these two styles of play are too similar, and Alabama's better at it. So I'm going to go with the Tide.
Who can defend better? Neither. I'm asking because I'm a wild card because I have neither of these teams in the next round.
I would probably think. I mean, statistically, Grand Canyon, but when you're talking about talent and competition, I would say Alabama could probably defend a team like Grand Canyon better than they would any SEC team. But I just think Alabama's got a good coach, great squad of players, level of competition they play.
Questionable character.
It's true.
I'm Alabama.
Yeah, I'll just go with you guys on that. I don't think Bama gets past St. Mary's in this round, but anyway.
Okay. St. Mary's not going to be there anyway.
Next, we have New Mexico and Baylor.
I got the Bears of Baylor.
I'm on the Lobos. Upset.
Baylor.
Am I convincing anybody, or are you guys pretty set?
I haven't heard your pitch, so I don't know if you're going to challenge it.
Waste my breath.
Well,
I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I think Baylor will.
Wait, is this a challenge?
Sure, I'll challenge it.
Okay.
I think that Baylor tends to trip up. All right. While they do play well at times and show flashes of brilliance, I think that they will slip up. I think New Mexico is a very, very underrated 11 seed. And I just, like I said, I go back to the fact that I think New Mexico is just one of the hotter teams right now in the tournament. This is my team that I think goes, well, not much further, but
so you think they're like the San Diego State of last year?
Yeah, I mean, I have them dancing in the Sweet 16. So,
okay, interesting.
Sticking Baylor.
Didn't do it for me. I'm sticking with Baylor.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Nevada, Arizona.
So I said Nevada was one of the double-digit seeds I thought could go far, and I do think they have a chance to beat Arizona, but I'm going with odds and statistics. I'm going to go with the Wildcats. Don't be surprised.
I'm there too.
Okay. Houston and A&M.
I have A&M.
I got the Aggies, baby. I love it. Wow. I'm surprised you picked them too, Trent. Sorry about that.
I mean, I have Houston. I kind of look at it as like a toss-up, just because I feel like Buzz Williams teams usually are early exits. But I also feel that the Houston Cougars are also usually early exits. So it's kind of like what team wants to blow it first.
I think
I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince you guys of Houston, but because I am not sold on Houston, especially after their 40-point loss to Iowa State. I'll go with Applebee's, Williams, and the Aggies.
Yeah, I think Tiny Arms Samson is going to have to enjoy a 2 for $20 at Applebee's.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I think Buzz Williams can wait a day on the all-you-can-eat riblets at Applebee's, so I think he's going to.
He's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking guy. Seriously, he grew his hair out since he coached at Marquette. He wears a nice vest.
All right, here we go. Moving to Wisconsin and Duke.
Hope Tyler wasn't having that style talk, I guess. Okay. Anyway, I got Duke.
I also got Duke.
Texas Tech, Kentucky.
Going with another blue blood here. I'm going Kentucky.
As am I.
I'm going Texas Tech. This is where Kentucky blows it.
Wow. Too bad. You're not convincing me.
No?
Hold on. I can't.
If I didn't challenge too, Ty.
If I didn't have Kentucky going, I do like Texas Tech because you know who their coach is? He is the reigning NIT championship coach from North Texas last year, who won us about 3 or 4 bets in a row.
Yeah, the Mean Green.
The Mean Green. So I do like their coach there, but Tyler, I could see what you're saying there, but I don't have Texas Tech making it out of the first round.
Okay, that's fair. I just
both great beer.
Just so we're aware, my next teams are both out because I had Houston and Texas Tech. So
that happens.
No, I know. Florida Marquette.
I got Florida.
Ooh, I got Marquette.
I got Marquette.
My God.
Oh.
All right. Purdue, Utah State.
Well, Tyler, I got Purdue.
Yeah.
I know who you have to pick.
I have Purdue as well.
I have Utah State. This is where Purdue exits. So
wow,
I'll enjoy that.
Proud. I'm proud that you stuck to your guns there on this first weekend exit.
Do you want to know something funny?
That's a beer bet, right?
Yeah. Do you want to know something funny? I originally picked Utah State to beat them, and then I was like, "Oh wait!" I was like, "I can't do that."
Changed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey Trey.
So now I'm going Purdue. No, don't meow.
Well,
I already made my bet.
All right, so Trey. But hold on a second. For the sake of the bracket, all right, maybe your own personal one, you have Purdue, but could you put Utah State in our overall?
Is this a challenge?
Yeah.
No, it was a question.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge to me.
I was going to say, I feel like, I mean, realistically, I could, but I'm not going to.
Okay, that's fine. I was just asking. All right, McNeese State and Kansas.
McNeese.
I'm gonna go McNeese as well because I have Samford winning in the second round as well. But since they're not in this matchup for my bracket, I'm going McNeese.
Trent, you're on McNeese too?
I actually do have McNeese winning this.
Okay. I'm on Kansas, but
out of challenges.
group bracket. It's going to look very different than my personal bracket. Could be bad. I mean, considering who won more of the conference.
We don't have to talk.
Barely. You beat me by 1, and then we both.
We know it was not Trey.
Thanks, guys.
Just saying.
In my defense, I had all the teams there, and in the semifinals, every single one of my teams lost.
Trey, you know what that results in? A loss.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay,
it's true. All right, Oregon, Creighton. Then we have UVA, Colorado State, or Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee because that's what I have. But I have the Rick Barnes Bowl there, guys, the Texas-Tennessee matchup, and I still went with Tennessee. But
I think that's what the want is.
Exactly.
That was definitely.
All right, moving to the Sweet 16.
Ooh, this is where it gets
to the wire
tough. Man.
All right, we have UConn, Auburn.
I'm going UConn. But I will say, if there's a game that UConn's going to lose, it's this one.
Agreed. I'm on UConn as well, but I agree, Trey, that this is a game. As long as Auburn doesn't have one of their hiccups, you know what I mean? Which they do. Next, we have Illinois, Iowa State.
I'm going Illinois.
I'm on the Cyclones.
Okay, good.
That's so bad.
North Carolina, Alabama.
I got North Carolina.
I got Alabama.
I'm on the Tar Heels. I don't think Alabama's as good as they've been in the past. And I think Carolina makes a little run.
Carolina's defense is too good.
That's the biggest difference. All right, Baylor, Arizona.
Alabama's offense is so good. They're the highest scoring team in the nation. But I'm not challenging. So let's go. Baylor, Arizona?
Baylor, Arizona.
I'm going Arizona.
I am too.
Yep. Me too.
Hate it.
All right. Next, we have the A&M Aggies and the Duke Blue Devils.
I got the Blue Devils here.
Duke.
Well, I don't have either of these teams. So I'll go Houston Cougars. No.
Did you have Duke losing to Vermont?
No, I had Duke losing to Houston.
Oh, you see, you had Duke there.
Yeah, I had Duke here.
Yeah, you're going to go
Houston.
Okay. Are you?
Okay. I think if they play an I don't know. I don't know if A&M makes it that far, but I'll go Duke here. Kentucky, Marquette.
I got Kentucky.
I also have Kentucky.
Initially,
you're like,
I told you, like,
this is nothing like your own bracket.
No, because in this matchup I had Texas Tech and Marquette. Initially, I had Marquette beating Texas Tech, and then I went back and changed it to Texas Tech beating Marquette. Wow. So I don't like Marquette, and I don't think they go that far. So
don't compare it to your own bracket. Look at it right now. Kentucky, Marquette. Who do you think would win in between that matchup? Like, look at it that way rather than.
That's what I just did. I just said Kentucky.
All right.
All right. Purdue, McNeese.
Purdue.
Again, not another matchup that I had. I had Utah State versus Kansas. So we'll go Purdue. Creighton, Tennessee.
I got Creighton.
I also have Creighton.
So Trent, I have a question for you. It sounds like we got a lot of the same exact picks. Do you have these matchups like spot on?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I had Purdue, McNeese, Creighton, Tennessee was a matchup. I did have Duke and A&M.
Me too.
I did not have. Who do we have? Kentucky Marquette. I had Kentucky Florida.
I got Kentucky Marquette.
But I had Arizona Baylor. I had North Carolina St. Mary's, and then I didn't have.
You love the Gales, dude.
I love Gales. Love the Gales. Love the Gales. No,
all right, here we go. Elite Eight.
Elite Eight. Here we go.
All right, we got UConn, Iowa State.
UConn. I swear to God, if you guys pick Iowa State,
hit me like a cyclone.
You picking Iowa State? Do you?
I am.
All right. I'm going UConn.
Thank God, because I was going to challenge your asses off there.
Were you?
Wow, that's
quite a challenge.
It's all right. I just the idea.
I hope Iowa State wins. I hope it, but I don't know.
Iowa State's not getting to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. All right, Carolina, Arizona.
I'm going Arizona.
Carolina. Again, this is another one I actually initially had Arizona, and I went back and forth a couple times today. Duke, Kentucky.
Duke.
I got Kentucky.
Again.
I had Kentucky, but I switched it.
I'll go Duke here just because I don't think Kentucky can make it this far.
Interesting.
Just my opinion. Purdue, Creighton.
Creighton.
I have Creighton as well.
I was saving my challenge. I was saving my challenge.
Trifecta. Ty, do you have Creighton in your Final Four?
Yes, I do.
Woo. So do I.
Yep.
That. So, guys, my bracket matches 3 out of 4 in the Final Four.
I got 2 out of 4. I have Arizona in the Final Four instead of Carolina.
All right, let's do it. This is it.
All right, UConn, Carolina.
UConn.
If it goes to UConn versus Carolina, I know they played. It wasn't dominant. I'm going to go UConn. No, it was just less than 10, wasn't it?
A 7-point game, I thought.
It was. I was gonna say it was right around 10.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go UConn.
Me too.
Wow. All right.
Hurts me to say it, but I just think overall, I think they're a better team. And I also do believe too. I mean, I know you guys make the argument that UConn has a pretty tough bracket and stuff. I still think that Carolina has some weirdly difficult matchups. You know what I mean? It might not be like your Big 12 and your SEC. I think if you look across the board, like your Mississippi States, your Michigan States, there's some sneaky games in there of like under, teams that really could. Even Arizona. I mean, Arizona's tough. So if they don't slip up, that could be another. But yeah, I'm going UConn. Trey, you said UConn as well?
Yep.
All right. And then last one here, Duke and Creighton.
So this is slightly different than my matchup in this Final Four, but I think it would be very unlikely to see a Big East championship. So I'm going to go Duke.
I have Creighton in this case.
I also have Creighton.
You love Creighton, Trey, so you can't really challenge it. I mean,
no, because I have them as one of my future bets to win it all, so I'm okay with it.
All
right, championship game here. I will say this:
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just saying I do have this as my championship.
Oh, okay. I do not.
Creighton, UConn.
Yes.
Not me.
Yep, Creighton UConn's my championship. So
it would be kind of kind of like karma in the end for the committee because they sat there and everyone says that, hey, Big East got snubbed, since we're using that word.
True.
And you could potentially have that matchup. I don't think that happens either, Trey. I think that's a very rare thing that occurs.
Yeah.
However, I will say I have Creighton, Iowa State, and Iowa State winning it. But
you have Iowa State winning the bracket.
Wow. I love it, Trent. That's awesome.
I don't. I hate it.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome.
Ugh. Trent, I'll buy you 2 cases of beer. You buy me a 6-pack if Iowa State wins. Like, if they don't win, you buy me a 6-pack. If they do win, I owe you 2 cases of beer.
that is not a fair bet.
Why not?
Because the chances of winning it all are not ever as high as the chances of not winning it all. You know, it's like,
well, all right.
I was in the field and you're taking the field. Like,
yeah, I'll take the field. You get
Hold on,
30.
Trey.
You get 42 more beers than what I would get.
I'm good.
Trey, if you have a futures bet on Creighton, then why don't you say Creighton wins it, you get a 6-pack. If Iowa State wins it, he gets a case.
No, because Iowa State has a better odds of winning the tournament than Creighton does. So
Really?
why would I give him more beer when I should be getting the more beer if Creighton wins it?
6-pack. I'll do that. I'll do a 6-pack for a 6-pack.
Okay.
Or a 4-pack for a 4-pack.
That's fair.
Fine. Creighton, Iowa State.
And Tyler, your winner is UConn, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we didn't pick the winner yet.
No, not yet. So I was waiting here.
Yeah.
UConn, Creighton.
I got UConn.
Creighton has beaten UConn.
Yeah.
And that's like a battle of the 7-footers. That's tough.
UConn's so much deeper.
I'm not gonna side with you guys in this. I'm not gonna go UConn. I mean, I'm not gonna challenge it, but I don't think the repeat is gonna happen. I just don't think it happens.
Okay.
And that might just be, but come on, Trent, they're the best team in the tournament. I don't care. I think that whole idea of repeating, that's where I think the fluke loss is going to occur earlier.
No, that's fair. And who knows? Maybe it's to Iowa State.
No, it's not.
You know,
it'll be to Auburn if anything.
All right. Are we doing total points here?
We can come up with a consensus.
Wait. Go ahead.
I had for my championship.
Well, what we'll do is tell me your total points. I'll add them up together and then divide by 3, and then we'll get it.
All right. I have 137.
I got 143.
Okay. I had 141. We're literally like all within.
So it's going to be 140 and a half or something.
140.33333.
Yeah.
So we got 140.
140?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You round down on that, Trent.
Yeah. I was just trying. It's been a while. It's late.
Sig figs and.
Oh, I hate sig figs. Don't talk about that. All right, you guys. One last thing as we wrap this up, but that is our Bearded Baker bracket, and I know Ty, you probably have a little announcement about our pool, correct? Later.
Yeah, so we're going to be putting a pool out here. Well, I guess this episode's here on Wednesday, so pool and stuff came out yesterday. It'll be out on the Tuesday, so that'll be out. And make sure you join that. I'll make sure to share it on our social media stuff, on X, on Instagram, all that fun stuff. Check that out. Don't forget, we're now on YouTube and Rumble, so you can check out video episodes on there as well as Spotify still. And you can still do audio on Apple. So, our last thing that we'll do here is what? Best picks here, right?
First, we'll do three actual bets.
Okay.
Like against the spread, over-unders, whatever you think it is. But
three for Thursday, 3 for Friday, right?
No, just 3 for the first round, I thought. I mean, I'm fine either way, whatever you guys think, but I have just 3 total, and I can rattle them off for you guys if you'd like. My first one
Go ahead.
is Grand Canyon plus 5.5 against the Gales, Trent's favorite team in the country. Next bet is a bet that I'm going to want a beer on, and that's Texas Tech -5.
Okay.
Last bet that I really like is Mississippi State plus 1.5 against Michigan State. Honorable mention, I think I did mention it earlier, is Vermont plus 12 against Duke.
Okay. Trent, you want to give your 3 and then give an honorable mention?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. I actually have, sorry, my app was not loading. One of the bets that I like is NC State +5. I know Trey really loves that one.
You would pick that.
Yeah. I do like, where was the other ones? I'm sorry, guys. I like Morehead State plus 11.5. And I like Nevada money line.
I like that a lot.
Good.
And that is it. Those are mine.
All right. I like Mississippi State plus 1.5. I'm also putting it on Mississippi State money line. I have New Mexico money line -126. I like Western Kentucky plus 14.5 against Marquette. And my little honorable mention here, I'm going to throw 13.5 plus 13.5 on Oakland against Kentucky for -104.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's quite a couple lines there. It's definitely interesting to see how many games are. I mean, you got some blowouts, and then you got a bunch of games that are like 1.5, 2.5 spreads. So it's
right.
Like,
there's a lot of games within 3 points that I've noticed.
Yes, and a lot of that 4.5, 5.5 too, which I hate that.
Yeah,
so
it's right outside the junk free throws. Like,
yes.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
Can I say I'm cool with 4.5. I'm not cool with 5.5.
I agree with that.
Like I'm okay with I'm okay with 4.5. I'm not okay with 5.5. If I can get 4, give it to me. Absolutely give it to me.
Give it to me.
Did anybody have McNeese State plus 6.5? I'm sorry.
You have 6.5.
I have McNeese State 6.5.
Okay, because on the one book they're now 5.5, so 6.5 is nice.
Yes, yeah. And let's go Bison. 6:40 tonight.
Bison.
Howard Bison tonight. You're gonna knock off Wagner Seahawks. I hate Wagner.
See that happen.
Terrible locker room. Terrible facilities.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else here for to wrap up our March Madness before we get into the big dance?
Nope. Get those brackets entered with your Twitter handles. X handles in there. I'm excited to see. I love going through to see who everyone picks as champions, and little gear for the winner. So
yeah, and I think Trey pointed that's a pretty cool shirt this year. So we got like basketball bracket in the background. Yeah. So definitely please use your X handle as your name so that way we can figure out who the winner is. Otherwise, if it's just an ESPN user, I can't figure it out. Nobody gets it. So we'd like to give away some gear here. So appreciate you guys.
Hey, also possible live stream Friday, maybe. We'll see.
A little bit of live stream. We'll be doing some different videos and things like that we're going to put out on the social media feeds. And keep an eye out. Well, and we're going to have a little beer tournament too.
That's right.
To kind of follow along with the tournaments where we'll have different bracket for different couple of beers that we'll be trying as the day progresses. So should be a fun time. Big dance Thursday. Let's get it. All right. Appreciate you.
So,
enjoy.
So ready. Hey, take it easy, fellas.
All right. See ya.